Well, Vicki, today's search and rescue operations are underway in Roswell, New Mexico, after historic rainfall triggered flash flooding over the weekend. At least 2 people are dead. Hundreds more had to be rescued. And that fast-moving water, it swept through homes and businesses, and it actually washed away several cars there on the street. In fact, meteorologists say almost 6 inches of rain fell on Saturday, catching a lot of people there by surprise. Guad Venegas joins us now from Roswell, New Mexico, on the ground. Guad, it is good to see you this Monday. Look, this is all just pretty rare. If you can put this into context for us, the last time Roswell saw rain like this was back in 1901, according to the National Weather Service. So what is it like there now? How are people reacting to how rare an event like this is?
Morgan, yeah, just like you mentioned, it's been over 100 years, and this broke a record now, nearly 6 inches of rain. The residents in this neighborhood tell me they felt the rain. They knew that the river was coming up, but they did not expect this to overflow the way it did. I'm standing in between some of the debris that was left as the water receded. There's a car bumper in here, by the way. There's a mix of trees, trash, the car bumper, another piece of a tree. There's cars inside the river. That's the type of power that the current had when the residents said it came up overnight. A lot of them said they woke up to the rain, got out of their bed and stepped into water. So that's what the experience was like. By the way, there's another vehicle right here that floated away and was swept onto this fence that overlooks the river. And we've seen over 100 vehicles like this. I'm standing in between this area, but if you keep walking down the street, there are vehicles all around this river and in different parts of Roswell. That's the type of destruction that a lot of the residents woke up to now that the water has receded here, Morgan.
And give us a sense, Guad, I mean, what is the latest when we talk about the search and rescue efforts and really what's being done for all of those families who've been displaced by this flooding?
So we know, according to state authorities, that they rescued 290 individuals. 38 of them were taken to hospitals. We know that as of now, the number of those that died is 2 as a result of the flooding. Meanwhile, a lot of the residents are returning to areas like this one that was flooded. And you can see a lot of vehicles. This is from neighbors and homeowners that are coming in to help some of the people with the cleanup effort. I'm going to walk over in this direction, and you can see the cleanup happening. And then what we see usually when a lot of these properties flood is people bringing out the furniture, and it's just going to be a long cleanup effort. And also, I should say that a lot of the people that have been displaced are now at the fairgrounds, which is the shelter that's been established for them.
All right, NBC's Guad Venegas on the ground there in New Mexico. Guad, thank you.
Swells pounding the coast. Winds hitting homes at 120 kilometers per hour. Oscar, the Category 1 hurricane, was downgraded to a tropical storm as it made landfall in Cuba.
Oscar, it must be said, is already on Cuban land. It made landfall near the city of Baracoa on Sunday at around 6 p.m.
But such weather warnings on television were not able to be transmitted into many homes. For even before the storm hit, Cuba's been grappling with a nationwide power outage. It is one of the worst blackouts in years. On Friday, the power grid failed across the country when the island's biggest coal-fired power plant suddenly stopped working. After days without electricity in the sweltering Caribbean heat, the situation for many Cubans has become untenable.
It's been 3 days since the electricity has not come on, not even for a moment. There's no water, there's no food, it's all going rotten. I feel like crying and screaming. I really don't know what I'm going to do.
Living in the pitch black, as soon as the sun goes down, many Cubans protested by banging pots and pans. Authorities said they're doing the best they can to turn the lights back on in what they're calling an energy emergency.
When there is a power outage, one feels powerless. Without electricity, there is no water, no production of medicine, no food collection. Electricity is essential and it affects everything. It creates an annoyance. It's an annoyance for all.
The outage and tropical storm Oscar come as Cuba is in the midst of its worst economic crisis since the fall of the Soviet Union. Soaring inflation and a lack of basic goods are commonplace, and embargoes from the U.S. mean that acquiring fuel and nearby help are all the more difficult.
One of the largest lawsuits in English legal history begins on Monday. That's as mining giant BHP faces a multi-billion-dollar claim over Brazil's worst environmental disaster, the collapse of the Mariana Dam in 2015. The dam contained mining waste, and its collapse 9 years ago unleashed a toxic wave on the surrounding area. It killed 19 people, left thousands homeless, and flooded forests. It polluted the length of the Doce River, which is considered to be sacred by the Krenak indigenous tribe. More than 600,000 Brazilians, 46 local governments, and around 2,000 businesses are suing BHP, which owned the dam alongside Vale's joint venture with Samarco. Claimants are seeking a combined $47 billion in damages. BHP, the world's biggest miner by market value, is contesting liability. It says this record London lawsuit duplicates legal proceedings and reparation and repair programs in Brazil, adding that nearly $8 billion has already been paid to those affected by the disaster through the Renova Foundation, which was established in 2016. The miners also said on Friday the Brazilian government is discussing a nearly $30 billion compensation deal. The London High Court hearing will last up to 12 weeks.
Hello, everybody. I'm having a lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Look at all the fake news over there. Hello, everybody.
You can fake this, right?
And you know this is compliments of Trump, okay?
Yes, thank you. Mr. President, please don't let the United States become Brazil, my native Brazil.
Oh, we'll keep it good.
Please.
We're going to make it better than ever, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Mr. President. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you over there.
Oh my God.
Have a good time.
Thank
nice
you.
to see you. Bye, darling. Have a good time. Thank you. How good are these people? I'm going to take place.
Мы же понимаем, что происходит вокруг России. И я понимаю. У меня с президентом Лулой прекрасные дружеские отношения. Ну что же я там специально туда приеду, чтобы, значит, нарушить нормальную работу этого форума? Ну, мы же прекрасно понимаем, и я понимаю, что это ничего, кроме там, даже если исключить этот МУС, ну, это разговоры будут только об этом. Мы фактически сорвем работу двадцатки. Зачем?
De verdad que el que gane, ojalá y no nos cierre las puertas, pues, que nos brinde el apoyo que necesitamos, porque de verdad estamos pasando por un mal momento, todos, no nada más nosotros, mucha gente. Entonces, bueno, vamos por un mejor futuro para nuestras familias que están en Venezuela bajo un régimen.
We are also following new exclusive reporting from the southern border detailing the dangers Border Patrol is facing every single day. News Nation has now learned that Border Patrol is on alert after Mexican cartels have given permission to its members to shoot at U.S. agents at the border. Now, this marks a significant escalation for the ongoing battle with those cartels and their smuggling operations there. Correspondent Allie Bradley is live in Eagle Pass, Texas, with some exclusive details. Allie.
Yeah, hey, Kelly. So it's long been kind of this understanding of sorts that the Mexican cartel stays over in Mexico. They don't fire on or attack U.S. law enforcement because it's bad for business. They will be shut down, and they know it. But there has been basically a war within the Sinaloa cartel, and that prompted this alert that we actually obtained that's circulating amongst Border Patrol that shows that cartel operatives have actually been given permission to shoot at U.S. Border Patrol agents because of their response to this fighting within the Sinaloa cartel. Border Patrol's response is prompting the deployment of Mexican law enforcement, which the cartel is trying to avoid here. So this alert was kicked out by the El Paso Sector Intelligence and Operations Center. It warns agents and officers of the threat on the south side of the border. The alert reminds agents to remain cognizant of their surroundings and to approach any cartel operatives with extreme caution. Now, this just as 2 days ago, contractors working on a ranch in the Eagle Pass area of the Del Rio sector, which is where we are, reported taking on fire from the Mexican side. According to an internal memo, the workers saw several individuals in Mexico where the shots came from, but could not determine how many people were out there. There were no reported injuries in that incident. Now, we talked with Victor Avila, who is a former special agent within Homeland Security investigation, and he says law enforcement should absolutely be concerned about this recent escalation.
You see that the cartels all want access. The Gulf cartel, CDN, everyone. The number one reason they fight for these plazas is because these plazas are the corridors to enter the United States, whether California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. And that's the major fight because the Sinaloa cartel has controlled that whole area from California, Sonora, now even far west Texas and El Paso. And so that's exactly what you're seeing right now. And that's not just fighting for the plazas, but fighting for the leadership of both of these, which happens to be one cartel now basically split into two.
Those corridors, those pathways are very lucrative, Kelly. It's a $13 billion a year business that they're fighting to maintain by pushing people and drugs through those holes. Now, I have reached out to both Customs and Border Protection and Governor Abbott because those contract workers were likely building wall and fencing there on behalf of the state of Texas. I have not heard back from either of those entities, Kelly.
Wow, this is just an incredible update. Allie, you know, we know this infighting between the Sinaloa cartel has been going on since the capture of El Mayo and one of El Chapo's sons as well. Does that threat appear to be escalating now?
Yeah, it does seem to be escalating, right? Because, again, cartel has always kind of maintained that they're staying on the south side of things. But we were just reporting on the cartel CDN using drone jammers to actually go in and intercept U.S. drones surveillance technology and capabilities, something that is a huge devastation and detriment to the U.S. side. Now, alongside of that, they also found several IEDs and RPGs. Those are rocket launchers, basically, on the south side of the border, just across from Arizona. That, along with a slew of ammunition. So we're finding a lot of kind of military-grade weaponry just on the other side of the border, which, of course, is causing concern for law enforcement down there. Now, we did ask former President Donald Trump when we had time to talk with him exclusively about this escalation and about the concern. He says troops need to go in. Take a listen to that exchange.
We need a military operation. What's happening, what you're just telling me, we need a military operation. These people have become military. They're very rich. They have a lot of money. They're among the richest people probably in the world. They're very rich and they're very evil.
Now, this all comes as a former a former Mexican security operative was just busted for basically bribery, spending 38 years in jail. So we've got issues with corruption spilling over the border. And again, Kelly, you know, we were basically told by CBP, hey, it's never going to bleed over to the U.S. side of things because it's bad for business. But now we're seeing alerts saying, watch your back because it might spill over. So certainly concerning for law enforcement down here, Kelly.
we're exposing Hezbollah's financial network and how Hezbollah uses it to fund its terrorist activities. In recent years, the state of Lebanon has experienced a deep financial crisis, which was exploited by Hezbollah. Hezbollah's main financial arm is the Al-Qard Al-Hassan Association. It provides financial services to Lebanese civilians and pays the salaries of Hezbollah's operatives. Al-Qard Al-Hassan, which violates the international law, is sanctioned by the United States and other Western countries. Hezbollah's financial network is based on two main sources of income: money from the Iranian regime and money from the Lebanese people. Iran's Quds forces transfer money to Hezbollah from Iranian oil sold in Syria. Iran also sends suitcases of cash and gold by planes to the Iranian embassy in Beirut, and then directly it goes to Hezbollah. Hezbollah has also built factories in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, and in Turkey that provide income for its terrorist operations. Hezbollah Unit 4400 manages this financial network. It was run by Jafar Ksir, also known as Sheikh Salah, until he was eliminated in a precise strike in Beirut at the beginning of October. Today, in another precise strike in Syria, we have eliminated his successor. The IDF will not allow Hezbollah to regroup and rearm. Not only is this Iranian money used to kill Israelis, it also threatens the Lebanese economy. As Hezbollah continues to smuggle Iranian money into Lebanon in dollars, it devalues the Lebanese pound, making the economic crisis in Lebanon even worse. Another source of income for Hezbollah is the citizens of Lebanon. Hezbollah makes money for Lebanese citizens by offering them financial services through the Al-Qard Al-Hassan Association. Last night, we called on Lebanese civilians to move out of harm's way from Hezbollah's financial facilities across Lebanon, including in the Dakhia area. We published these warnings in Arabic, on social media, and also through other channels. The Israeli Air Force carried out a series of precise strikes on these Hezbollah financial strongholds. One of our main targets last night was an underground vault with millions of dollars in cash and gold. The money was being used to finance Hezbollah's attacks on Israel. This vault was deliberately located under a residential building. Our strikes will degrade Hezbollah's ability to finance its attacks on Israelis. Tonight, I am going to declassify intelligence on a site that we did not strike, where Hezbollah has millions of dollars in gold and cash. In Hassan Nasrallah's bunker. Where is the bunker located? Directly under El Sahel Hospital, in the heart of Beirut, in the Dakhia. This is the hospital. From both sides you can see an entry and exit. Those are entry and exit tunnel shafts for the underground bunker. The entrance is located in the Al Mahdi building, and the exit is located in the El Sahel Center building. This is the bunker. It contains rooms, beds, and infrastructure for long stays, and the ability to direct combat from underground. Hezbollah built this bunker directly underneath this hospital. There are hundreds of millions of dollars in cash and gold inside the bunker right now. I'm calling on the Lebanese government, Lebanese authorities, and the international organizations. Don't allow Hezbollah to use the money for terror and to attack Israel. The Israeli Air Force is monitoring the compound, as you can see. However, we will not strike the hospital itself. I want to emphasize, we are not at war with the people of Lebanon. We are at war with Hezbollah. And we will continue to operate against Hezbollah so that the residents of northern Israel will be able to return to their homes in safety and security.